Muy buenas a todos, soy JFA de Masters y aquí estamos un jueves más, como casi todos los martes y jueves, para intentar dar juntos un pasito adelante hacia la maestría en Gods Unchained. Estoy aquí recolocando todo. Welcome all, this is JFA from GU Masters, and here we are, Thursday once again, and as every Thursday and Tuesday, here we are, trying to move forward together towards the mastery in Gods Unchained. Alright. Bueno, voy a en principio a hablar en inglés un poco más que en español, me temo. Pero tenemos novedades sobre la nueva expansión. Ya ha salido la Guía del Coleccionista. We have big news regarding the new expansion set because the collector's guide is already available. And I think we can have a look at it. To begin. Bueno, para los hispanoparlantes, que sepáis que tenéis en GU Masters un artículo con todo el detalle de la guía del coleccionista, básicamente. De modo que ahí tenéis información en abundancia. If you don't speak Spanish, if you speak English, you can just change the language. And the automated translation is decent, so I don't think that will be a problem. And you can find this at GU Masters as usual. So we can have a look at this. And as you know, this is the brand new expansion set for Gods Unchained. It will become available on 16th June. And this is basically well, a new chapter of the Everborn story. Exactly like in Roots of Ruin, we have 3 types of packs. In this case, there are a bit less premium packs. They were 1,500 in the case of Roots of Ruin, as you can see. 1,250 in the Waking Plague. You have information of the distribution percentages and so on. And remember that there is, as usual, a 4-week balance period that can be extended for another 4 weeks. Divine tithings are a thing. If you want to get discounts up to 35%, burning some cards. And well, for collectors, squigglings are back in premium and shiny packs, and there are some prices for the largest buyers too, which are squigglings and a promo card, which I'm sure is not going to be, it's going to be quite rare. This expansion set introduces 9 mythic variants, so 9 legendary cards. Some of them available in regular packs, some of them available in shiny packs, some of them available in a battle pass or sealed. So I think that this battle pass may be interesting if you want to gather as many common cards as possible, because in the battle pass there will only be common cards in any quality, but only in that rarity. And remember that each battle pack includes 3 packs. So what should we expect of the Waking Plague? That's the big question, I guess. Well, Everborn tribe is the star of this expansion set, and as you know, the Broken Seal is the key card for this archetype, so super important. If you want to play this, you need this card. As you know, most Everborn are neutral, but some domains don't have a lot of access of exclusive creators, like Deception, for example, or Light. So all domains can use these cards, but not all domains are equally strong. Main challenge, balance, of course, as usual. So we're going to face a lot of mid-range Everborn decks that are getting new tools. For example, they didn't have any Void Hate, and they do now. At least some domains. Well, one domain to be precise, I think. And in addition to Everborn, not everything is Everborns, Light, Deception, and Invernator get some more pieces for their puzzles regarding specific archetypes. Dragon Lord, muy buenas, bienvenido. Estoy aquí contando en inglés, en este caso, los detalles de la guía del coleccionista. De todos modos, está también en español en el artículo, o sea que está a vuestra disposición. So, I don't know if you've had the chance to have a look at the cards, if you have drawn any conclusions, if you think that any domains are going to be favored or not. But I think that we can bring back these questions that were relevant for Roots of Ruin, and I think that they remain relevant for this new expansion set. And as creatures are more or less limited, so one key difference is going to be spells, of course. Relics not so much, because you need to run the key relic of the archetype. Davos, hi there, how are you doing? Dragon Lord says, I think Everborn are going to be too strong. Everborn are going to be pretty good, I have no doubt about that. I'm going to make a tier list, but I don't think that will be today. I don't know. I could start today, because there are 46 cards, maybe too much for just one stream. Let me know your thoughts, guys, if you want, if you are interested in a tier list beginning today or not. So again, key spells, key synergies those spells and so on, like interaction with the void or distraction, etc. Which mechanics can become important or were missing, like avoid hate, as I said before, and which domains have the best ever-born creatures, exclusive creatures. Captain Avocado, hi there, how are you doing? Nafu says that he counters a lot of everborns with Mill Deception. Yeah, Mill Deception can be pretty good against this kind of archetype, because this is, as I said before, normally some kind of mid-range deck, so it gives you time to mill, basically, to find your key cards and use them. So, to sum up, this is a continuation of Roots of Ruin, basically. We'll see how this works, but with 9 mythic variants, I guess that packs will be sold. Davos says, leave them with 6, 0, 1 and then Scrappy. Easy peasy. Yeah, basically that's a good plan. Alright, so I don't know, you've had the chance to have a look at the official collector guide. The guide includes all the cards of the set, plus of course, well, mythic variants and so on. The guide is pretty cool, I guess. I think. Squigglings, Battle Pass, Elite Rewards. This is the promo card that is going to be rare. Discount through Divine Tithings. We have reviewed all this right now. This is an invitation to read the lore. Don't miss this. I think it deserves some attention. Well, these are the essentials and these are the cards. So guys, what do you think? Do we begin tier list today or not? We wait until next week. Those are the options. Any preferences? Let me know. Chat is there. I'm reading you. I am ready for the tier list. Come on, guys. Our side today. No opinions. Dragon Lord said that he's ready too, alright. That was 2, always ready, fella. Okay. Let's go then. So the cards are available at the game launcher, at the collection page of the GU website, and also, as you can see, in GU decks. I have here all the cards, so let's try. Let's begin with, I don't know, Death. So this is 6 cards for most domains plus 10 cards. Yeah, this is 6 cards for per domain plus 10 neutral cards. It's fine. Okay. So I know that everyone is going to have his own opinion, that's normal. I'm just gonna share my thoughts with you. And let's see if we can learn something together. So 1 mana cost, spell for death, soul stasis ritual, with the following text. This is a common card. Give an enemy creature can't attack, hidden, and at the start of your turn, if you have 15 health or less, this creature loses can't attack and hidden. Alright, so what do you think about this card? This can really let you get tempo advantage during the early game. I think it's not a bad card. It's just 1 mana cost. Would you run it? In which kind of deck is the question. If you want to make the most of the card effect, you need to try to have always 15 or more health. 16 health. That was a troll card, I like it. Casino, yeah, I think this is suitable for casino. It could be useful for zombies, for example, that normally can keep their health high. Okay. Soul stasis. Okay. This is the one. It's very good during the early game, not so good, can be pretty bad in the late game, especially if you receive damage. By now, I think B may be reasonable, I don't know. C. By now, okay. Ink stained fingers. This is a relic, an epic relic, 2 mana cost. That was said B tier. It can be playable, but definitely not extremely good. Okay, so ink stained fingers. At the start of your turn, steal 2 health from your opponent's god and draw a card. Then, if you have 6 or more unlocked mana gems, lock 1 of your mana gems. And this is a 0 damage, 1 duration relic, which is infinite, basically, until it's removed in some way. So you steal 2 health from your opponent's god, you get a new card from your deck, you draw a card, but you keep your mana locked. At 6. So obviously not good for control, but I think that this is very, very interesting for aggro decks. Will Bomb Dragons or Anubians run this? Is this better than Skull Scepter or Necro Scepter? That's a good question to ask. There's a lot of relic removal around, but this is a good card. So this is the one. I think we can do this between A and B. I think that A is reasonable for this card. And Davos says dreads. Yeah, but dreads have their own relic too, and the dread relic is pretty good in that archetype. If you want draw, you can run Irina. Well, let's keep it with A so far. So I agree with Davos. More, our deal pays dividends. 2 mana cost. Rare spell. Give another or a Nubian +2 strength. If you are frenzied, both players add a mana lock. So again, could this be played with some kind of nether deck? It could be good for Anubians too, but Anubians don't have frenzy guaranteed, as nethers do due to the god power. So both players add a mana lock. If it was your opponent gets a mana lock, this would be very good, but being symmetrical, I don't think it's nothing especially attractive. D probably is enough. Yeah, Davos says that no one is going to use this with that mana cost. Alright, 3 mana Anubian, rare card, Nefirus Collector, 3/3 stats, and the following text. After a creature leaves your opponent's void, steal 1 health from your opponent's god. Raid. Obliterate a random card from your opponent's void. Sorry. So not very relevant. Death has not a lot of ways to interact with the opponent's void. And well, heirloom type Anubian decks are not gonna run this, obviously, and there aren't many other Anubian decks around. Big Anubians are not a thing, maybe in Flashback Genesis, but nothing else. So I think this is a very interesting card. So no funny things for death so far. Traitorous Backstabber, 3 mana common nether, 3 damage, 5 health, which for 3 mana are good stats, with Tempt Fate. Okay. At the start of your turn, unless you control a non-nether creature, deal 5 damage to your god. And you know, nethers have a lot of creatures that do self-damage or mutual damage. but suffering 5 damage every turn is a lot, so you cannot play this in another deck. It is true that some cards have been added to death of creatures that belong to other domains, which are not Nethers or Anubians, but honestly I don't think this has a lot of room to sign at the moment. So again, don't see this being played. And finally, the Formless Leech, 7 mana Everborn, legendary creature in this case, stats 4/4 with Leech. While this is in your hand, at the start of your turn, reduce this card's mana cost by 1. Ally, steal 1 health from your opponent's god. Okay, I think this card seems cool, but you need to have it in hand to see its cost reduced. You need to wait. I think it's, I don't know, but that's the summary. I don't think this card is going to have a lot of protagonism. So basically, death mains may not be very happy with the new cards, the new domain exclusive cards that the Waking Plague introduces for them. So it is what it is. Next domain, Deception. Double Vision. This is a 2 mana rare spell that says put a creature to sleep. If you played at least 2 creatures with the same name from your hand this turn, summon a copy of the strongest creature on the board. Alright, so this can become nuts with cards like Admiral Mayday, Ludia's Skimmer. There is a new card in this set, which is this one, that can go crazy too with this spell. So this is scary. Worst case scenario, you sleep 1 creature for 1 turn, which is not awesome. But if you keep this and you have the correct cards in hand, it can have big impact. Helpit, bienvenido, ¿cómo estamos? So what do you think about this card? You summon a copy of the strongest creature on the board. It's a fun card, but a bit memes, I think. This one, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it there, I think. One more spell, common spell. Again, 2 mana cost, sacrifices will be made. Target creature becomes confused. If it is a structure, destroy it instead. If 2 of your creatures die this turn, draw 3 cards and discard 1 at random. So this is a card for the discard archetype with the last version of Admiral Mayday. So this can destroy a structure, so sometimes it can have impact in the game, but if not, it basically confuses 1 creature. It is conditional, you need 2 of your creatures death this turn. It can work with Mayday, I think, but I don't think it's going to be super mega amazing. Hooded Wanderer, 3 mana, common creature with guild tribe, important, stats 4 damage, 2 health, hidden for 1 turn. Draw touched, add a 4/2 Hooded Wanderer to your hand and reduce its mana cost by 1. So you need to sacrifice something in order to get a copy of this in your hand with 1 mana cost. So imagine this with Amber Arrow, something like that. This can be good. Because the Tepson has targets to be sacrificed, so that's no big deal. It's hidden, it's not a lot of health, but this is interesting. Let's keep it here. Dragon Lord says fun. Yeah, I agree. Schemes within schemes. 3 mana cost, rare spell. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy creature. So 2 damage for 3 mana is not awesome. If you played 4 cards this turn, draw and equip the highest mana cost relic from your deck. So in order to play 4 cards in 1 turn, probably Guild is a good option. With the 0 cost damage. But which relics may make this good enough to be run? Because you can draw your relic before you draw this and cast this spell. Hint, this card that we are going to analyze in a minute. So this can be quite meme-ish, but scary. Right? Next one. Godhand, hi there. Godhand says we were talking about this already. Yeah, absolutely. he likes sleep blade, is more of a power play. Yeah, sleep blade can work nicely with this. And there we go. This is the legendary creature for deception, undercover insurgent. It's another with stats 3-5 and text: at the start of your opponent's turn, all enemy creatures attack your creatures randomly. After this enters the void, obliterate it and add a stolen plans to your hand. Okay. So you play this, and in your opponent's turn, his or her creatures attack your own creatures randomly. In which scenarios can this be good? That's the question. Obviously, not for aggro decks. Control decks normally don't run a ton of creatures. Am I missing something? I don't think this is super interesting, to be honest. Yeah, Dragon Lord points out against small creatures. Yeah, but all you achieve is, well, some trades. You may clean the board, but it's a 5 mana card, so its stats are quite bad. I don't know. Let me know if I'm missing something, but I think this is quite bad. Okay, so this is the most controversial card, maybe of the full set for me. This is a 7 mana relic, epic relic, the Key, with stats 7 damage, 1 duration. After you attack, pull half the cards in your opponent's deck to their void, rounding up. Dread Touch, refresh all your mana. So this is the first relic and can activate Dread Touch. Idiot says that I can't see the cards on my G2 decks. You need to use the filter, choose any set. For example, if you choose core, the end of the URL is core, and just replace core by plague, and you will see this. Idiot asks, holy shit, what's this card? Cork is laughing. I'm still not sure if this is good or not. This is insane, basically. Anyway, and as I said at the balance channel, even if this is a meme card, which I doubt, this is bad design, in my opinion. Alright? Why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because there are basically two scenarios here. You equip this, and the next turn your opponent may have relic removal. In that case, you are wrecked because the tempo loss is huge. That's without activating the mana refresh. With mana refresh, it's insanely good. And the other scenario is that your opponent does not have relic hate in hand. So you just swing and erase half of his deck. This is obviously when you are facing a combo or a control deck. Against aggro is not very good probably, but Deception has plenty of tools to deal with aggro decks. So obviously this is your win con for the other archetypes, not for aggro. It says this is a ridiculous card and you can have 2 of these in your deck. So my point is that this is too polarizing. You have an answer or you die. You lose the game basically on the spot. Well, if you are playing aggro you may kill your opponent, but if you are playing aggro probably your opponent is not gonna equip this. And this can be a brick in your hand. Yes, it can. So high risk, high reward, but it's pretty crazy, honestly. It just says even you have Relicate in hand, the person plays CTI, sends it to the bottom of your deck, you attack and Relicate goes bye bye forever. Yeah, that's one of the difficulties of playing facing Deception. Basically, they have answers for almost anything. They need to draw CTI, Cutthroat Insight, if anyone has the doubt. But this card is basically a problem, I think. Just imagine activating the Dress Touch and equipping this and playing Hortuk in the same turn. This is the kind of best case scenario. Obviously your opponent is not always going to have this in hand and Hortuk and activate Dress Touch and so on, but it can happen. Godhand says there are a lot of random relic delves, so other gods like War will get these too. Counterfight loves this card. Yeah, but who is running Counterfight at the moment? Idiot says this needs to be deleted from the game. Control Deception is back. As I said, this is probably, from my perspective, the most dangerous card of the expansion. And I don't think this is future-proof at all. I understand that you cannot future-proof everything, but some precautions can be wise. So I'm gonna leave it here. And we will find out when the card is available and people start playing it. Alright. So, I'm not going to include this as S tier because basically S tier is an auto-include, this is not that. But, well, for me this is A tier. So let's go with light. Light is quite insane. Cost 1 rare spell. We find hope in each other. Give a friendly creature +1/+1. Delve a card from the Sanctum and add it to your hand. So this is basically +1/+1 and Sanctum card. So this can really make the difference in some games, because sometimes you can find tech in the Sanctum. It gives you not card advantage, but it generates resources. There is a big question here. The cards from the Sanctum that are dealt are the visible cards in that moment, or are we talking about the full pool of Sanctum cards? That's the question. An advertisement is coming. Okay, this is pretty good, honestly. Not S tier, but maybe A, if not A, super high B. This is crazy. I'm gonna include it here. I have the doubt. I need to test it, but I think it's very good. Okay. This is a creature, common creature, 3 mana, mystic, with stats 5/8, 3 mana, 5/8. Absolution Seeking Monk. Surabi, hey there, how are you doing? Order 8. After this creature's order reaches 0, gain 5 favor and tempt fate. By the way, I said on Tuesday that I was going to raffle at least one pack sponsored by the GU team. So let's begin with the raffle. In the meantime, please let me know. I'm going to finish reading this card. As I said, order 8, so you may need a while to play it. It's advertisement time. After this creature's order reaches 0, gain 5 favor and tempt fate. Okay. I'm gonna start the raffle. Okay, you are back, guys. That's good. I was asking what do you think about this card, and Agus pregunta si hay sorteo. Ahora mismo, raffle has begun. If you want to participate, check the chat. All right, so order 8. So this is a big, more or less big tempo sacrifice. 8 order are 4 turns, basically. It's interesting, but I don't think it's super fantastic. Three mana Anubian with stats 2/5. common creature, priestess in exile. With fellowship, the summoned creature gets order 2. While this is in your void. Well, sorry, let's begin again. The summoned creature gets order 2. Alright. So fellowship is activated when it's a different tribe. While this is in your void, after you play a spell, gain 2 favor. So again, one more card for the favor archetype. Your creature gets order 2, but that's not a problem because unless it's a frontliner or something like that, in your turn, your creature has no order anymore. Is it 2/5? Not terrible, not great. I don't know if you can really play this. Okay. James Bloom asks, how are we liking the set? It introduces a lot of pieces for some archetypes puzzles. I mean, some new cards from some archetypes that are not super good. But I don't know how much impact it's going to have. But I do think that Everborn are going to be strong, very strong. And there are some cards that can be problematic. Aria, Unwitting Hero. I revealed this card on Tuesday, as you know. But it was a 3-mana creature, not a 4-mana creature, so it has been nerfed before release. I'm not going to explain a lot, but this is basically a 1/5 either blessed. With fellowship, set your god powers mana cost to 0 until the end of the turn. After you use your god power, gain protected. So this is basically a card, a creature you want to keep alive on your board in order to get this 0 cost use of your god power. 1/5 are not super amazing stats, but it can get protected every turn, which is no little thing. That makes it sticky. It can work nicely with Irina, or well, you can summon an acolyte for free in a lot of scenarios, because Agro Light runs a lot of a lot of Olympians and Mystics and so on. It can also work in favor decks, as I said on Tuesday. So I don't know. At 3 mana, this was probably an A tier, maybe S tier. I would need to test it, but with 4 mana cost, let's say B for now. Not terribly bad, but not amazing. But I'm gonna keep it here. I have doubts with it, with this card at the moment. Fat says, glad everything is D. Nice light set. Well, death are probably main death players are probably not very happy with with this set. Godhan says, free arena GPs are insane. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, B may be reasonable. B may be A. I don't know. This needs to be tested. But free God power each turn is no little thing. Like, I think we can all agree in that. Fat says, skip arena and give me something new. Okay, so this is one of the most interesting spells of the set, I think. Cognitive Dissonance. Epic card, 5 mana cost. Pull each creature on the board onto the bottom of their controller's deck if it shares a tribe with another creature on the board. So this is very strong against tribal decks. Imagine, I don't know, Amazons, Anubians, and so on. It can be also strong if you are facing Guardian-based decks. It requires some skill. You need to think well some turns ahead which creatures you are playing or not playing in order to, because this sends all creatures, not only your opponent's creatures, to the bottom of the controller's deck. Kurk says this is insane, all aggro are tribes now. Yeah, Guild Deception, for example. Light and War have mixed tribes, but as I said, Amazons, Anubians, Guild, what else? Those are popular, Olympians and so on, of course. Not very popular at the moment. Dragons, this can work nicely if you are facing dragons of any kind. This is super strong. Fat says useless. I don't think so. I don't think this is useless. I think this is quite good, to be honest. Not a steer, but this has 6 mana cost and its cost has been reduced. If it was 6 mana cost, it would be bad. But at 5, it's 4 turns before Lysander's Mercy. This is good. Okay. Homelorn Scalemate, 5 mana dragon for light. This may be the only dragon light has, I think. Yeah, Kurk is pointing out Everborns, of course. You can send all those stinky Everborns back to the deck. That's huge. That's right. So, Dragon, as I said. 5/4, Tempt Fate, Armor 1. Alright. Afterlife, give a random creature in your hand Tempt Fate. Unless we get some kind of synergies for mixed tribes for light. It's not unplayable, but it's not great. Come on. This is the again, I think. So that was light. Magic now. Magic is spicy. Fat says this card doesn't make any sense. Sorry, no synergy, nothing. Yeah, at the moment it doesn't bring anything really interesting to the table, I think. So magic. Common creature, enthralled researcher, 3 mana. This is an Everborn, important. Stats 4/1 with ward, and afterlife, destroy a random friendly sporophyte. If you do, transform the strongest enemy creature into a 4/1 enthralled researcher. So this is transform the strongest creature of your opponent into this. Magic has a nice amount of transform, but obviously this can be run in Everborn decks. Everborn decks were missing transform. They needed to include specific spells for that, maybe ratify and so on. So this is 4/1 for 3 mana with ward. But you transform if the transform is not random. You know what you are going to transform. For 1 can be kind of a threat sometimes, but 3 mana transform. This is good, I think. Need to think which other Everborns you can use in this slot, but 3 mana is interesting. This is A or high B, I think. Probably A. Kurk says has to value this one. Yeah, no, not easy. No, not an easy one. I agree. 3 mana spell, epic spell, Hubris. Obliterate every odd mana cost card in your hand, then draw a card for each that remained. So this is some kind of combo card. In which situation do you want to get rid of the odd mana cost cards in your hand? Honestly, I may be missing something, but I cannot think right now of any scenario where I would run this. Any ideas in the room? I have no clue. Where is this card? It's this one. I don't know what to do with this card. I don't find any use for it. Purifying Flames. 4 mana common spell. Deal 5 damage to a creature. If this destroys the creature, obliterate it instead and heal both gods for 2. 5 damage for 3 mana and you obliterate. So this is basically a better version of Stars Are Bolt. This is pretty good. This is almost S tier, but at least A tier. I think S can be reasonable. This is almost out including in any Magic deck. Maybe A, but very high A. Kuruk says, so good. Yeah, it's very good. Okay, Archives Manager. Rare creature, 4 mana cost, Guild Tribe, alright, not common for Magic. Stats 2/6 for 4 mana, well, it's decent, not great. Afterlife, add a Sacred Lore to your hand. Sacred Lore is a Genesis spell that makes of 3 cost, makes 1 damage to your god, I think. And it gives you 3 runes. So this is interesting. This is a card great for Thalor decks. Rayman, welcome. Yeah, Captain Apagado confirms 1 damage to god and 3 runes, 3 mana, that's right. So in the right deck, this can provide value. With Thalor you would reduce Sacred Lore to 0, that's best case scenario, not always gonna happen, obviously. Stats are not amazing, it's a very decent card in the right build. This is a B, C. Let's keep it here. Here we are with one of the more controversial cards of this set again. This is 6 mana legendary creature. This is Palace, champion of Magic, in this case Palace Wise Beyond Years. It's a mystic as always, it's the same character, with stats 5/5. 5/5 for 6 mana is not awesome, but it has the following keywords: Spell Boost +1, Heal Boost +1, this is the first card with Heal Boost for Magic, Ward and Protected. So this is super sticky. This is difficult to get rid of. And Roar and Fellowship. Both Roar and Fellowship. Add a Vow of Champions to your hand and set its mana cost to 0. As you know, Vow of Champions, 2 mana neutral spell that lets you choose 4 options. Damage, healing, drawing. This is insane, basically. As I said, this is not easy to kill. If this survives, it generates Vows of Champions free of charge, 0 cost. There is no need to say that this is an S tier card and this probably needs to be nerfed, as the key needs to be redesigned and or nerfed. you heard it first. Okay. Wrongly animated statue. Creature 6 mana Everborn. Important. Kurk says absurd with Urskas. Yeah, Urskas plus that palace is basically a lot of damage. Alright, at the end of your turn, destroy a random friendly Sporophyte. If you do, give all friendly Everborn +1/+1. So this is some kind of mini Asterius with recurring effect. That's huge. Stats are not amazing, that's true. For a 6 mana creature, 4/7. For 7 you have Sporophyte, maybe 5/7, 12 stats. This is very good. This is very good. That's probably an S-tier card for Everborn decks. Because all your Sporophytes suddenly get +1/+1. This is probably an S-tier deck. S-tier card, sorry. For Everborn decks, as I said. Alright. And this is all for Magic. 3 domains. May we end this today? Maybe. Nature. Well, let's end this raffle of a regular pack sponsored by the Gods Unchained team. If anyone else wants to join the raffle, it's the last chance. 16 people here. Check the chat if you want to join the raffle, but I'm going to close it right now. Idiot, welcome to the raffle. James Bloom. Anyone else? Maybe we reach 20. Alright. We are getting closer now. Gauntlet Ghost, welcome. So I'm going to close in 3, 2, 1. Alright. So the best of luck for you all, and let's find who is the winner. In 3, 2, 1. Captain Avocado, congratulations. Send me a direct message in Discord within the next 48 hours, and I'm gonna need your player ID. Probably I have it already, but it's a reminder for me not to forget, basically. So congrats. Godhan says he's not here, reroll. He's here. Okay, so congratulations. I think I can raffle one more. So one more regular pack sponsored by the Gods Unchained teams, guys. There we go. This is the correct one. Alright. Let's keep on analyzing cards. Nature. Lichen Mimic. Rare creature. 1 mana cost. Everborn, that's important. Nature has a special relationship with Everborns. Stats 1/1, not amazing for a 1 mana card. At the end of your turn, while this creature is in your hand, transform it into a random friendly Everborn creature on the board. It keeps this skill after the change. So this can become basically any Everborn, which is really interesting. If necessary, you can play it. Well, this can become a sporophyte too. So a sporophyte is not awesome for 1 mana cost, but obviously you are going to be playing more creatures. But this is random. That's important because you are always going to have sporophytes normally, most of the time. Mangelov says, no idea what I am in for, but here for the fight. It's a regular pack of the Waking Plague. Enzu, hi there, what are you doing? Alright. So what do you think about this card? Let me know your thoughts. Any insights about it? Honestly, I think it's not very good. The fact that it can become a sporophyte, so much randomness. Is something I'm not in love. But it can have a big impact sometimes. A curious card. C can be reasonable, I think. All right. So there we go. More. Frothing Pika. 2 mana cost, wild creature, stats 2/3. Tempt Fate. Confused. After you play another creature with Tempt Fate, gain +1/+1. Nature has not a lot of creatures with Tempt Fate. In fact, I think it has none. It's a 2/3, confused for 2. I don't think this is super interesting. Frothing Pika can go to C easily. Not unplayable, but not great. More. Attuned to the Biome. 3 mana common spell. Gain control of a confused creature. If it's already yours, remove confused and give it +2/+2 instead. Well, as you know, nature has some shenanigans to confuse your opponent's creature. For example, Tybor. In worst case scenario, this is a +2/+2 for one of your creatures for 3 mana, which is not super amazing, but it's not very bad. It's an interesting card. By the way, I have not said anything about the art. What do you think about the art of this expansion set? We have reviewed a good amount of cards now. So this may be a B tier card, maybe. It has potential. Mangelo says definitely better than previous ones. Yeah, no doubt about that. Okay, one more wild creature, Malicious Mangrove. Rare rarity. 2/4 with Tempt Fate. Deadly. After you play another creature with Tempt Fate, gain Regent +1. So it's a 2/4 with Deathly, with Tempt Fate. You can get Ward, you can get Hidden, you can get +1 health, you can get Afterlife Effect, 1/1 Imp, Twin Strike, Overkill. This can be pretty crazy. Again, B tier. Interesting card, this one. Epic spell, 4 mana, my so-called champion. Give a guardian or legendary creature -4/-4. Draw a legendary creature from your deck and give it Tempt Fate. So this basically kills almost any guardian. Not all of them, but it neutralizes a lot of them, or can help get rid of a legendary creature -4/-4. And you draw a legendary creature if you have it in your deck, obviously, and give it Tempt Fate. So imagine Shredder, that which takes, that kind of creatures with Tempt deck can be crazy, especially Bad Bunny. Mangelop asks, question is, will it go through Ward? Yes. Stat manipulation goes through Ward. Goes through everything, basically. This is a very good card. A bit situational, but it's good. Imagine Narasila with Tempt Fate. Yeah. I don't know. Probably this may be an A tier card. Between A and B, but depending on the meta. In a meta like the actual one, the current one, this can be very good. In other metas, maybe, I don't know, if you're playing sealed or formats, it's not so good. It's maybe a C tier card, because you're not going to have so many targets for it. But, as I said, in the current meta, so I'm going to drop it to B for this reason, because it's very situational. But it can be very good in the right build for the current meta. Mangelop says, on paper yes, but it's GU. Yeah, you never know. Surprises are always an option with Gods Unchained. But I think that stat manipulation is not stopped by Ward. Alright, so legendary creature, 9 mana cost, Everborn, the Maddening One. 7/7. At the end of your turn, if this creature is in your hand, set its mana cost to 9 minus the number of Everborn you control. After an enemy creature is summoned, give it Confused and burn 1. So best case scenario, you have a lot of spore fights and I don't know, twice blooming spore caps and all these things. With 6 creatures, this would be a 7/7 for 3 mana. Obviously, most of the time you are not going to to be in that scenario. So maybe you can play this for 6, 5. For 5 is very good. It has not immediate impact, but it confuses your opponent's creatures and gives them Baron 1. This is a very good card. Maybe not S tier, but probably A tier for Everborn decks, obviously. Maybe here. Yeah, Rayman says if you just have 3 Everborns on your board, it's a good turn 6. Yeah, I agree. And that was nature. Let's go with war. Consumed by battle. Common spell with 2 mana cost. If you control an Everborn, draw a card. If you control a dragon, give all friendly creatures +1 health. If you control a Viking, deal 2 damage to a random enemy character. So this card is a bit confusing because if you control an Everborn, you are not going to control a dragon or a Viking. You may control a dragon or a Viking if you are running this mixed archetype that includes both tribes, both dragons and Vikings. In that case, it can give +1 health or 2 damage to a random enemy character. So I don't think this is very interesting, to be honest. Maybe D. Epic Viking, Brass Freeman, 3 mana cost, 3/2 stats not great. It has flank. Roar, deal damage equal to the number of different tribes in play, randomly split among all enemy creatures. So maybe there can be... It's a Viking, probably counts itself. Maybe your opponent has a couple of creatures, so this may be 3, 4, 5 damage, maybe. Depends on what you're facing. I don't know. Sometimes it can be strong, but I don't think this is super great, to be honest. If the stats were higher, it could be very good. Ensnared Chargers, creature, Everborn, important, 4 mana cost, 1/5 stats, 1/5 low stats for 4 mana cost creature, but after this creature attacks and survives, give it +1 strength. Then deal damage equal to its strength to every creature. So this is a kind of Archimedes mirror for Everborn. Well, Archimedes mirror deals damage equal to the damage it receives. This deals damage equal to its strength, but its strength can grow fast thanks to sporophytes. If this had Blitz, this would be crazy, but it isn't the case. You need to attack with it. I think it's great. Because you need to attack with it. Archimedes Mirror is passive. Alright. More Everborn creatures for war. Rare one. Harnessed Antlion. 4 mana, 4/4. Raid. Deal 1 damage to a creature. Once per turn, after this creature attacks and survives, draw a 3 mana spell from your deck. So this means that if you have any 3 mana spell in your deck, you can draw it. You can choose the target of this damage, that's important. This is a good card. Not broken, but good. Philo Hyder said the Deception Relic is shit because it hasn't blissed. Also more than 4 mana. Well, God Hunter can have his own opinion. He's entitled to do so. I have shared my thoughts about it before. And I think it's crazy, basically. Alright. 1 dragon this time. Common card, Sun-Bleached Gargoyles. 5 mana cost, 6/8 stats. 6/8 for 5 mana. It has flank, it has frontline, so 6/8 frontliner. At the start of your turn, if this creature is undamaged, give both -4 strength and can't attack until the end of the turn. So when your opponent plays, this is a 6/8, sorry, if it's undamaged, it's a 4/8 can't attack for you, but dealing damage is to its own creatures. It's not super difficult for war. In fact, war has an archetype. It's not super strong, but it has even a god power for that deals 1 damage to their own creatures, plus a lot of spells and so on. Anyway, if you are facing aggro, this probably can decide the game. If they attack your creature, it's damaged, you can attack back next turn. This is for dragon decks or even control war. It's very good. With dragon decks you may not be using that god power. Idiot says this card is getting nerfed. Has to. Even for aggro. Rayman says it's broken. Sí, Rayman, la verdad es que esta carta es la leche, vamos, es tremenda. Alright, so I don't know. This is A tier basically. Not S because it's not auto include, but it's A tier for sure. Alright. And last card for war. As I said, the previous card could be very good for control war, and this legendary structure can be too. The Garrison on the Edge. 6 mana, 3/11 stats, frontline, can't attack. Roar, give a friendly creature leech and flank. At the end of your turn, your opponent takes damage equal to this creature's missing health. So this can be wild. It is true that it can be destroyed by Blade of White Plane, Scorpionic Dread Beast, Dragon Hunter, yes, but if you don't have any answers for this, you are cooked. At least if you're playing aggro. If you're playing control, this is not so big deal. But well, you cannot ignore it completely, because if this loses 10 health, that's 10 damage for you. So by the way, this has been buffed. Korok says it's 6 now. Yeah, this was a 7 mana card. In fact, in the images I have, it has 7 cost. But this is probably an A tier card. This is the big brother of the 4 mana structure. Don't recall the name now. Grand Hall, yeah, Korok says GH, Grand Hall, correct. What do you think about this? It's pretty insane. 6 mana for this. Imagine this with Achaya, something like that. It's crazy. Okay, so neutral cards, 10 cards to review. It's getting late, but let's go for it. A reminder, there is a raffle going on. If anyone wants to join, check the chat. Daredevil. 1 mana cost, never, stats 1/1. Tempt Fate. At the start of your turn, Tempt Fate. Fun card, but obviously not amazing. Not even for nether decks, which are not very popular. Fungal Drone. This is an Everborn. Important. 2/2. Roar. If your opponent has 15 or more cards in their void, gain +2/+2. So this can be a 4/4 for 1. This can be good. Let's not forget that Everborns are continuously buffing their own creatures when Sporophytes die. Interesting. Not A tier, but B tier for sure. Maybe here. Alright. Overindulged Centurion. 2 mana Olympian, stats 1/4. This is a rare card. Confused. At the start of your turn, all friendly creatures lose 1 order. After this creature attacks and survives, it gains +1 health or +1 strength randomly. So this is a tech card against order. This could be used with some of the light cards that we have seen, or in a meta with a lot of order light. This can be played. If when this survives, even going face, it gains health or strength. It's not a bad card. This can go to B easily. Reader of Bones, Mystic, 3/4 for 3 mana. Tempt Fate. After you play another creature with Tempt Fate, foresee 2. Then, if the top card of your deck has Tempt Fate, gain +1/+1. Well, it seems that there is a new kind of Tempt Fate archetype, which I don't love, because Tempt Fate is highly random, so not very skill demanding. You can high roll like crazy, but anyway, I don't think it's going to be a super strong archetype so far, so let's keep it there. Reader of Bones. All right. Unique Tactician. Epic Creature Guild, in this case. 3/3, hidden for 1 turn. After an enemy creature is summoned, if it has the same name as another creature on the board, give it -1/-1. So let me get this right. These skills or all sporophytes, basically. No, not well. Not all. It kills one sporophyte when this survives, and this is hidden for 1 turn. So this would kill school teachers too. Which is interesting. Anubians in some cases. Romances, zombies, yeah, zombies too. That's right. It's interesting. This is a tech card, but it's interesting. Alright. Neutral Everborn. Biomass Reconditioner. Epic in this case. 2/6 stats. Roar. If there are 10 or more cards in your opponent's void, choose 2 of them and transform them into sporophytes. So this brings Void Hate basically to Everborn decks. As far as conditional, as there are 10 or more cards in your opponent's void. So it won't go well. You cannot play this until 4 mana. It's an interesting card, but it's not too strong. You need to wait to play it. Interesting. This can be probably a B tier card. Raymond says if we had sideboard, it would be in all sideboards. Well, he was referring to where did I place it? To discard, I guess. No, sorry, to discard. To the 3 mana guild. Alright. Mycelium Bloom. Epic spell. 4 mana. Summon 4 0/1 Sporophytes. If you are frenzied, draw a card. Honestly, right now, unless there is some kind of corpse explosion for Everborn, I don't think this is very good, to be honest. This was some, I don't know, magic card here? Or maybe I chose before, by mistake, the other card. Anyway, this is Mycelium Bloom, which is pretty bad, to be honest. Let me see if I can place it. Yeah, I chose it by mistake before. Anyway, legendary card, 5 mana, Everborn, the Entangling Horde, 2/6 with Raging 1. Raging 1, interesting. I don't think any other Everborn has Raging so far. Yeah, Kurok says that I placed it by mistake earlier. Philo says that the epic of nature is his favorite. And I see excitement regarding this card. It says, Roar, obliterate all friendly Sporophytes, summon a 2/6 Entangling Horde, for each one obliterated. So if you have maybe 2 or 3 Sporophytes, you get this creature plus 2 or 3 copies of it, which is strong for 5 mana. For Everborn it's not difficult to have some Sporophytes around, so this is a very strong card. In fact, this is an S tier card, which explains the excitement all around. This goes here. Philo says should be limited. Well, it's limited, it's a legendary one, but it's very strong, that is true. One more legendary. In this case, a dragon. 7 mana dragon, 17 stats. One who remembers. Roar, if you have no duplicate creatures in your deck, draw 3 cards and heal your god for 10. Heal your god for 10. Mana Surge 8, refresh all of your mana. So this is the perfect card for Ataya or Singleton. Ataya can be crazy with this. This is a good card in the right build. So in the right build, not in any other, this is an A tier card. Here. And finally, the great finality. Legendary Everborn, 9 mana cost, 12/6. That's not a lot of stats for a 9 mana creature. but we know that 9 mana creatures are special. Roar. Gain Blitz, Overkill, Deadly, Ward, Protected, Flank, Frontline, and Soulless. So that's a lot of keywords. It has Blitz, not God Blitz, important. But it has Overkill, also important. Deadly, when this is summoned, probably any other creatures are gonna die. Protected. Frontline can offer some protection too. But the most spicy part is the Mana Surge. Mana Surge 12. Reduce your opponent's god max health to 5. So guys, which domains can activate Mana Surge 12? By default, Death can, Nature can, and now Deception can too, with the 7 mana relic. Obviously this card is not going to, I don't think this is going to be included in Everborn decks, but it can be generated, and that's very important. Deception is not strong playing Everborn. That's a design decision by the team. You won't run the 7 mana relic in an Everborn deck because you need to run the seal, so I don't think Deception is really an option. So that leaves us with Death and Nature. So Philo says Photogenesis, Necronomics, Vasex Isle, and Deception, and Neutral Dragon. You don't have to play Everborn for this. No, you don't have to play Everborn for this, but I don't think you are running this. If you are not running this in an Everborn deck, you are not running this in any other archetype, I think. But it's an interesting card. And it's certainly, as I said, in Everborn decks, this can be generated with a 6 mana spell. So we are going to see it. I have no doubt about that. Sometimes, not in all games obviously, but from time to time we are going to face this. Well, as far as the game reaches 9 mana, which is no easy. It's not easy, no little thing, I was going to say. Reaching 9 mana nowadays is not common. But maybe Everborn Mirrors, that kind of game against control decks and so on, we can see it. Alright. Entonces says, only time I might get this is if I get it in Evolve Upward, the 6 mana cost spell, and I am so far ahead of the opponent. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because you are not going to delve this against aggro. It's not necessary, you have better options. So you are only going to delve this against control decks, basically. Alright, so after reviewing all these cards, what do you think about this expansion set? Share your thoughts. What is exciting for you? Do you think that Everborn decks are going to get way better? I think they are. They're going to get better. They are going to get more variety in deck building because there are more cards to choose from, basically, especially for some domains. Philo says Horde, Key, Nature, Leggy are probably the most broken. Roman says, conclusion, play Magic. Dragon Lord says, some cards are interesting. And Philo asks, you know what's the issue? Surprise me. Well, this is my tier list. This, as you know, will need to be revisited when the set is live, because we need to test these cards. Some cards can be better than they seem or worse than they seem, so we need to keep that in mind. But this is my personal valuation at first sight, at least. Phil says the engine for seal is the relic, which is like 200 people can play it, making most of the evermore supply of cards dead. Yeah, I agree with you. That can be a problem as far as they don't release something alternative to the relic to generate sporophytes. Maybe more creatures that generate sporophytes, but I agree with you that the relic is a limitation to that extent regarding the amount of players that can play the archetype, because right now it's totally and completely dependent on the relic. So that's right, I totally agree. And as I said, you were not watching this, but this is my tier list, and we will see if this is right or not. All right, well, I didn't choose this. Well, this can go to probably D, because this is not going to see a lot of play. Maybe here, for example. Philo asks, can you link that tier maker with the picks? No, I can't, because this is an app. This is not a website. I can try, not sure how, to get a screenshot of this. I can try, but I cannot promise anything. Alright, guys. So let's end the raffle. I have not forgotten about that. There we go. You are waiting. If anyone else wants to join the raffle, this is the last chance. After this, I'm going to try to rate you to anyone else that is generating content about Gods Unchained. I hope you've had some fun with this tier list, and some cards are going to create debate. I have no doubt about that. So Ragnar, welcome. Alright. Philo asks, who is the app then? Do you self-upload all the pics, or you can pull from some metadata? No, I upload the pics. I always ask for the card images, because as you know, I always make tier lists. Alright, so let's go. Let's close the raffle. There we go. I wish you the best of luck, and we are going to draw a winner right now. So 3, 2, 1. Edgar Preinoso, envíame un mensaje directo en Discord en las próximas 48 horas con tu user ID y listo, solamente voy a necesitar eso, o sea que nada más. Yo, si no recuerdo mal, tú hablas español. Edgar, are you around? I don't know. Well, Edgar may revisit the the stream later, so he has 48 hours to claim his pack. If he does not claim his pack, I will raffle it again, I guess on Tuesday, so no problem at all. Okay guys, let me read you. Captain Avocado says, my Entonces disappeared. I'm gonna give him the chance, as I always do. But as I said, he has 48 hours. If not, next Tuesday, I'll see you here with another raffle. Alright. Thank you all for your time, as always. Always a pleasure. And let me check who's online. Same category. Ryzen Max. Alright, I leave you with Ryzen Max. I faced this guy a couple of days ago. So good luck for your games. We have to speak about Conquest. That's a big interrogation mark, question mark. We'll see what we can find out. Alright guys, see you on Tuesday. Take care. Gracias a todos. Nos vemos el martes. Bye.